Failure. 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 It could be worse.
Survived. Wait. What are these books?
It's a series of books for children that is about surviving natural disasters. So, like, the cover of the I Survived 9/11, the cover of this book.
That's not a natural disaster.
You're telling me.
For real. Are we recording? Okay, beautiful.
So, unless you believe the internet, maybe it was a natural disaster. But
Wait,
the
9/11?
Okay, the cover of this book is I Survived 9/11, and the cover of it is like a boy who's like 11 running from the twin towers that are on fire with a plume of smoke coming out, and he's running like this. And that's the cover, and I Survived 9/11. So my son read that and then read it and then walked away being like, fucked up, that's 7-Eleven.
That's that's going down at 7-Elevens. 7-Elevens across the nation is going up in smoke.
So
And it's because they keep putting the wrong name on them. They would save them if it says 7. No one knows it's for 9/11.
no one's remembering this shit correctly.
Right.
So it's like a whole series. It's not just 9/11. There's Pompeii. There's I Survived Pompeii. I survived.
Right.
I survived the San Francisco earthquake. I survived, and I'm like, my husband and I are making fun of it, and my son like kind of feeling that we're roasting him a little. It's like, well, they have a I Survived the Dust Bowl as well, and being like, it's a serious.
Got us.
It's just like what, and then my husband and I are looking at each other. It's kind of weird that they don't have like, I survived the Holocaust.
I was like, you say it.
Yeah. It's like kind of like the most famous thing to be a survivor for.
That's all you. So, right.
And then my son kind of feels that tension, and he can kind of see our eyes, and he's like, well, that's a little too serious for children.
Right, but 9/11's totally cool.
Like, I mean, it's kind of fucked up.
I
but yeah.
also thought that this was going to go down some sort of path of like natural disasters and like actual, like, you know what I mean, like hurricanes. You know what I mean?
There's that too.
Oh.
I survived Katrina.
Oh my God.
Sandy didn't make the
Okay,
cut.
it's very clear. Oh my God. Eunji. Oh my God. This immediately, I was like, hey, if Joe Rogan's listening, here we go. This episode's for you, guy. No, you're like, yeah.
Let's get monetized, baby.
Right. Yeah. Smash that like. Send me gifts. No, I mean, it's also just very apparent that like this country has no plans for anything. So it's just like, hey, just get so used to like crazy trauma. Can you just like try to like numb yourself to trauma and and like start early so that we can. Just because we don't have a plan. Like, we have no actual plans.
I think women are particularly adept at this level of like, because you get accustomed to a thing and then you like are just used to it and they're like, oh yeah, and then you wait for the next threshold of pain. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you'll actually feel pain. It's like if you think about women with relationships, toxic, like you just that's why you get stuck in a pattern. Like I think men are more likely to get out of a toxic relationship with a woman and be like, fuck that, and never date a lady like that. He won't even fuck a girl that looks like her. Right. You know what I mean? Like if a curly haired woman scorned him, like her broke his heart, he's never fucking a girl with curly hair ever again.
Yes, and all those every other curly haired woman he comes across ever is paying for that woman's.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. As opposed to I bring this up because it's like that's how I ever tell you about like how my retina's almost detached.
No.
So like I I was for a while like I went to get like a regular like checkup for my eyes because I'm legally blind in this eye.
Oh really?
And, yeah. So it's cool. I'm seeing like 70%. And so like I went to get a regular checkup, and the optometrist, she's like just at the lens crafters lady. She's like, you know, you got like something going on with your eyes, like because she did like an extra look, and I was like, okay, whatever, and I went and did nothing about it. She's like, you got to go to like a retina person. I was like, okay, peace.
Right, that sounds like money.
Yeah. And so then she called me a month later and was like, did you go see this person? I was like, no. And she was like, no, you need to go. And I was like, oh, I thought that was just like a, you know,
like,
you're
hey.
trying to upsell me thing. And she's like, no, this is serious.
Serious.
And so I went to the retina specialist, and I go in, and the lady's like, okay. And like, I'm the retina lady, and you're me, and you're like looking into the thing, right? And then she leans back and she's like, okay, so we have to go to surgery right now. And I'm like, what? Like right now? This is just a regular office appointment.
Right.
Do you do surgeries here?
Right. You're like, I only paid $20 to come in here. What are you
Like,
talking
I don't know
about?
if my copay is going to cover this. We got to have a conversation.
Right.
And she was like, no, we need to do this right now. And so then I had like a laser surgery. Literally, I drove there. And then I had a laser surgery because she was like, your retinas are literally they're about to detach.
Yeah.
Like there's very little holding them in. And so
Like your eyeballs would pop out?
they kind of like pop out.
They would like, they were
Like
push?
they would push out, and like I would basically be blind.
Oh my God.
So, and you could push them back, like put them together.
This is going to sound bad, but I feel like that could have done something interesting for your comedy.
That's the most comic response.
Korean, Jewish, blind, and a mom. Like what?
Bam, bam.
Right.
And I'm like
Right.
Joe Rogan.
Right. You would be raking in the dough right now.
I want to be able to see
Dave never would have gotten a show. It would have been you. You would have fully turned FX around.
I mean, I've been like, I would have had an incredible sense of smell, my like sense of, I mean,
Right.
I really could have become an X-Man.
You're right, Marvel.
Like,
Marvel, are you listening?
and like, so I go into the surgery, I get the surgery done, and she the entire time is like, how did you not complain about this? Like, she was like, I cannot believe that you never felt or complained or didn't seek.
you?
So I get the surgery, and then afterwards I like feel all of this relief, and I'm like, oh, I've been feeling this incredible pressure in my eyes and in my head for months, but I just thought I was tired.
No, yeah, that's the most woman response to anything ever.
Because I'm like, I'm a mom, and I was like really young, and I was just like, oh, whatever. This is just what like life is like in your late 30s, and it never occurred to me to complain about it, that it would get better. I was just like, I guess this is what my body's like now.
This is just what it is. I know. Okay, now that you say
was
it's like,
crazy.
it's like I've got this sort of like lower hit. I'm like, I need to go to the doctor. I've just been avoiding that. I was like, I mean, I also don't have insurance, so it's just like whatever. But I'm like, now that you say that, I'm like, there are a few different things I probably should just get checked out.
Just checked out. Like that ever since then, I've been so much more vigilant about shit. Like, because yes, exactly. Like the same sort of lack of vigilance, because you're like, oh, this is always going to just get worse. It's the same thing with America. Like there has to be like a point where like, actually, this is
bad.
This is bad.
We need to
America's retinas are about to detach. We need to go into surgery.
And while this would be great for our comedy career, this is not what we need right now.
We don't actually need to be
we
blind.
need to see, yeah. This seems funny, you know what I mean? But it's really not. It's actually could be really bad.
Like, maybe we don't need to laugh through our pain here. Like maybe we just avoid the pain.
Yeah.
That's absolutely like ever since that happened, I think I've been much more vigilant about it for that reason alone. Because after I felt the pressure, like the relief from the pressure, I was like, like just the breath you're able to take. It was the same thing with like so many other things in my life that I felt like, oh, I can just handle it. It's fine.
Well, right. Well, I feel like that's what it's like. I read these things because I'm not on anything, but it's like I feel like that's like when people talk about like taking like they're like I'm on Lexapro now, and I'm like, oh, this is like so this is what your brain. This is what a brain feels. This is what thoughts, regular, non-intrusive, like constantly intrusive thoughts, like just like regular thoughts. You know what I mean?
This is what it's like to go to sleep at midnight as opposed to 3 a.m.
Right. Exactly.
It's like it's okay.
It's like, oh, this is what my life could have been like
People
this whole time.
People don't go to sleep having read every single Wikipedia entry documentary about people in a movie like that had Laura Dern in it
Right.
in 1989.
It just happened to pop up on Netflix when I already decided I wasn't really going to go to sleep tonight.
Okay. It sounds like people aren't cultured.
Right.
Like they don't care about Laura Dern enough.
Right, exactly. I love Laura Dern
I mean,
so
too.
much.
But it's like that sort of cycling and get the relief from that and waking up refreshed. Fucking, it was crazy to me to wake up refreshed because I got on a wide variety. I mean, I'm cycling through a ton of meds right now, but speaking of failure, by the way, so speaking of meds, I took a Plan B 2 weeks ago, right? Fully married, have 2 kids. You can still make mistakes, guys. And I remember when I was like maybe after my this is before I had my second kid, and I remember talking to a young male comic. He was like maybe 24 or something, and after a show he was just like, yeah, like we're just talking, chopping it up, talking about comedy, and he like kind of like took a moment and looked at me and was like, yeah, like you're happy and you're like married, you have like kind of all the things that like as a 24-year-old I know that
You've
you're
ticked off the boxes.
all the
your
boxes.
life should be good.
Yeah, and he was like, why, like it's kind of crazy that you're like still do this. And I was like, yeah, like just because I'm happy doesn't mean that I'm not crazy.
Right.
Like I'm still unwell.
Right.
Like I can have all the and check off all the stuff and really be relatively content and like to use the word happy, like have experience fleeting moments of happiness and still be deeply unwell. It was psychotic to me. And I was like, right, you're 24. Like you are carrying the weight and experience of a 24-year-old. Like you think this gets better.
Right. Right. It's like it's like, yeah, oh, well, I've got a kid now. I've got
this. And they're like
no,
somehow
I've just become like my life might be more fulfilling, but I've just added on more people that I now have to like be responsible for and like think about when I move in the world whilst trying to like pursue the things that I like thought I cared about. You know what I mean? No, yeah, this is just crippling. I mean, I don't want to. Okay, and I'm coming at being like it's crippling the way. Hence my lack of commitment to anything. I've got a dog and that's it. You know
that's a pretty big commitment. I mean, like,
yes, but she can't say shit to me.
Yeah,
she does sigh a lot. She's clearly disappointed. So there's that. She's clearly disappointed in me. It's fine.
It's just like I'm also
love you, Quincy.
Quincy's like, she is trying her best. Right. I mean, I was once describing it to my husband. It's like I am 5'1", and the weight of everything like brings down my vertebra, so that I'm like I was put my 4'9". Like that's like sometimes I think about taking more shit, and I was like I can't lose any more inches. God. Like I just, my God, it's brutal. So like I mean, yeah. So I just like I recently took a Plan B. That's the thing. It's like you still continue to fuck up. There is no part of life where you can't find new depths. Like I literally did this today, Kenya. I fucking, this is like deeply humbling. I had to buy insoles, like gel insoles. I
saw your story.
Yeah, like orthopedic insoles because like my back and like I can't fuck with shoes and heels the way I used to.
Yeah.
So I got insoles and
you do like a heel.
And I had to buy them. I had to buy them in a child size.
Do they?
Because they don't come. Because I guess they don't come in a size under a woman's size 6.
What size are your feet?
I'm a size 5.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm dainty.
I remember when I was a size 5. I was in like 5th grade.
I'm a dainty person.
I was like so excited. I was like, oh, adult shoes.
Yes.
And then they only got bigger, and I was just like, oh God.
But
I just got sized out of so many options.
I mean, me too, though.
True. Yeah, you're on the other end of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
We're not in that supposed sweet spot of like 7s and 8s.
Yes.
Everyone else is a 7 and an 8. They make the majority of the shoes are 7s and 8s.
Absolutely.
That's a lie.
Yes.
That is a lie, and you know it. There's 9s and 10s and 5s and 6s out there. You know we need shoes.
See us.
Right.
See us. Attach your fucking retinas and see us.
Exactly. Exactly. It's the same thing with like extra small. It's like a million extra small small, and then there's like 7 larges
Yes.
and like 4 extra larges. And
Yes.
it's like, bitch, come on. You know what I mean? This is America. Come on. Let's not fuck around here.
Actually, this is what Beyonce
It's like,
was
hey, if you want to
about.
add to the like the wait list, it's like, what do you mean?
Why is there a wait list?
Right.
Why is there a wait?
Right.
If there's a wait list, that means there's a need and
The
there's a demand.
average American woman is what, a 10?
Yeah. 10, 12.
Right.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Whatever.
See us.
See us.
But like, yeah, just like, so I took the plan B.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, it's cool, and it's I took the plan B. It's fine. But I felt really blue afterwards, and like I forgot what it's like, and so
That's also such a cute way of saying it. I felt really blue afterwards.
I did. I felt really blue. I mean, like how about this?
It's like on the back.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna feel a little blue. You know what I mean?
Because like, listen, I have suffered major depressive episodes. This was not it.
No, yeah.
and so like I don't want to characterize this as something other than feeling a little blue. Like yeah, you know, like you feel a little off.
No, I feel you.
Yeah, as opposed to feeling depressed, which is like a whole other fucking thing. So
Right.
yeah, I felt a little blue. Yeah.
That's exactly what depression sounds like. Oh God.
It sounds a lot like Quincy.
Yeah.
What's up, Quince? You okay?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Quincy. She's a mascot for this fucking podcast. Sorry. Continue. But no, yeah, you were feeling blue after taking.
And it's just,
Plan B.
and you know, you feel a certain way, and like I just remember feeling like, bitch, you are 40, and you can't get the pull out game in check. And I remember going downstairs and looking at my husband. He's like, if I have to get an abortion, I'm gonna snip
so
you myself.
mad.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
snip you myself.
No, yeah. Well, no. I mean, yeah. I mean, in all honesty, that's entirely fair. I mean, that's entirely fair.
Because that's
a whole other thing. It's a whole other thing. It's like going through. It's like, if you can go to a place that doesn't have people outside of it trying to harass you, telling you they're making the wrong decision, then it's like, I mean, just the whole physical thing. It's just a pain in the ass.
Wait, are there Planned Parenthoods where there are like people outside hyping you up?
No, but there should be.
Yeah, like, bitch, you're making the right decision.
Well, like I know there's some
Choose
people that like
your career.
Yeah, just like clapping.
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Actually, what they should just be inside, slow clapping for you as they walk you into the room.
Yeah, and then you have to like high five them as you walk
Yeah,
by.
exactly.
Like, you know when like the bulls come out like in the lineup.
Exactly. No, yeah, they're dumping champagne on you. And they're just like, yeah. Because they can't do it afterwards because you're knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just like, I don't know. I mean, the last time I went to Planned Parenthood, I mean, this was a while ago. The last time I went to Planned Parenthood, it was just like, I just got shuffled into a room with a bunch of other just like,
Shell-shocked ladies.
unconscious
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Just like, and I was like, we all just have to sit here together. Like, I was like, okay, like there is some sense of community, but
Yeah.
also it's just like, this is weird. like this
As
is
opposed to like a bunch of people being like, bitch, you're doing it.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
go back to your barista job.
Like, like you at least get like cookies and juice if you give blood. Like you should get something. They should give you something.
They should give you a vibrator.
Sucker,
Yeah.
a sucker. You know what I mean? Like a piece of candy, some chocolate, like a piece of candy. I don't know. Like it should be a pizza party. I don't fucking know, but you need something. Like you're really racking your brain. Like what could we give all these people?
Yeah, I'm really thinking. I was like, maybe like because
a cup of tea.
I mean, like a thing like that is nice, but I'm thinking about like kind of filling like the psychic hole there. Like maybe they all leave and they all get to engage in a text flirtation. Like with like it doesn't have to be a real dude. It could be ChatGPT.
Right.
This would be a good application of
Right.
it.
This is when AI could come.
And,
in handy.
and it'd be like a genuine connection with like a guy that you're like texting. That's like
yes, after you've got an abortion, the first thing you want is to be like, hey, ooh, he's interested.
yeah.
Hey, I'm out of commission for the next like 6 weeks,
So, like,
but
yeah.
to like what is it? How long is it? It's like at least a month.
I don't know if it's I don't even think it's that long, but it's like honestly, I think it's just be even like attention and care and nurturing
Yes.
from like a person
Yeah.
that expects nothing from you.
Like a boyfriend cafe.
Yes, right. That absolutely, absolutely, and it's like a textual.
We're making money.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a
I'm
business
just
plan.
patent pending, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But it's
Christy's
just
writing it right now.
it's just like how you're doing. Like, do you want me to like DoorDash you some soup? Like that sort of shit.
Yes, no,
that
totally.
should be it. It's this textual, like brief interlude where like, and it organically peters out.
Yeah.
like it organically peters out. Like this text thread is there for you for as long as you need it, ladies.
And you literally end it yourself, and you said that last text, and then you just walk out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You walk out of a restaurant, you just like put your coat on and just walk away. And you know what I mean? It's just like the end of a movie.
And
You know
then
what I mean? It's like
you're
and
holding
just
the
like that.
DoorDash, yeah.
And just like that, it was over.
and I knew that I didn't need them anymore.
Right, yeah.
Like I think that's
just like that. I got an IUD.
like that's it, because like I don't want to make any sort of reproductive choices for anybody like when they go in and or out. You know, I like that's like people regret this bitch he's got on birth control. Like you don't fucking. I mean, I am very anti birth control and what hormones do to fucking women. It's fucked up.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, most medication. Okay, and this is kind of what I was going to touch on earlier when we were just like talking about
Meds?
your retina's popping out, but but no, well, because I feel like that's what always kinds of happens, or this can happen in this country a lot. Is like it's like the last minute, like okay, it's actually the most extreme, and now everyone's like, okay, you actually have to do something about this, because every other time it's just like, okay, well, this might be a thing, but like it's going to be some testing, and like
Yes.
over the next 6 to 8 months
Yes.
to maybe a year to maybe 2 years. Just keep coming in and we'll just keep poking at you, and it's
Yes.
going to cost you a few $100s every time, and like we'll just see what happens. And I feel like that's the same thing with like trying to find a birth control that you like that actually, I mean, and most of them don't even have like I don't want to say the accuracy, but like for the protect, like there's fails in there all the time. People
Yes.
get pregnant on IUDs.
Yes.
People get pregnant on all forms of birth
Absolutely.
control. Like that's not there. And then also looking at like I'm bringing it all together with like Zoloft and like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, just like those medications.
And then that just like numbs your orgasms.
Well, right, yeah. Well, no, and that's the other fucked up thing is that like okay, if your mental health is great, but you actually don't want to have sex for the rest of your life now, and it's like there's got to be a balance, and it's also like trying to find the medication that's right for you. I feel like people should like go on like a 6 months just like away from like you not doing work,
Yeah.
not doing anything. You're just solely focused on like, how's my brain actually feeling? You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
not like a bunch of other stressors and everything else.
Sure.
And then slowly get worked back into society once you've found something. Because it's insane to me that you're like doing brain chemistry and like trying to do your job at the same time. You know what I mean? I know that's a very like idealistic like way of seeing it.
Yeah.
But like if you're like fully laughing at me. You're just like, Kenya, what? But like it just doesn't make sense, because it's like I don't know, it's just like I don't know, I took fucking Seroquel for like half a year, and now I just like have weird food cravings all the time. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
even on it anymore, and I'm just like in the middle of the night I'm just like waking up like shoving chips in my mouth, you know what I mean? Like if I've fully eaten out of the trash, like and that's because of this shit, so whatever. And I'm also famously not in therapy. We all know this. Failures, you know, I am not in therapy, so I'm not the one to listen to, but this is just how I feel about it, okay? Don't take my advice. Don't live how I'm living. I also have a tooth that definitely has a hole in it, and I'm not doing anything about that.
It's
either,
whistling. It's whistling.
So, no, it just like sort of like broke, and I've just been like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I
mean,
don't know.
I have bad teeth problems too. Like I'm rotting from the inside. Like if everyone knows me, like you know that I love a cigarette and a Diet Coke before every single show. Truly, like I've had people that have like I know have drug addictions, being like, ew, and like I'm like, what? Because I have a Diet Coke or two, and I smoke a couple
you
know.
do love a Diet Coke.
Yes, what I mean. A Diet Coke and a little smoky. Like
And
that
a little
sounds good.
smoky.
Yeah, a little smoky. Like, that sounds
The amount
good.
of like you're just like, "Zuh."
Because it's just like
But also that's just your vibe.
that's my vibe. Like I'm kind of rotting from the inside out. Like I used to have a root canal about every year, because like I'd be like, okay, it's about that time. Like I'm feeling that tingle in there,
Oh,
and then I would
no.
be like, it would reach
That's
a certain.
another thing. They fuck those up all the time too.
the time.
I got a bad root canal. I'm just like, Why did I spend? It's like I spent how much money on this and it didn't even work.
I mean, but it's
And you're
yeah.
not going to fix it. And I can't even go in and be like, hey, you fucked this up. Can you fix it? Well, we don't know.
What are you
about
talking
that.
about? You got to go back and get it fixed.
No. I'm saying when I did, they were
Oh, I
like,
see.
oh, I don't know. And then just took, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like more
Yeah,
money.
of
I'm
course.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
you're not
yeah.
going to fix, you fucked this up and you're not going to fix it for free.
This is a free refill
You're like,
situation.
what do you mean you're not going to fix it? I
No,
did.
Yeah, this is a free refill situation. You got to take.
Right.
This is,
It should be.
I bought the cup. You're refilling.
Right.
You're refilling, baby.
Right.
Yeah. No. I always ask at places whenever I get a Diet Coke if there's a free refill, and because. Because I gotta know how I'm portioning out my Diet Coke for the rest of this meal.
Oh, right. Well, it's whether you have 1 to 2 or 7.
That's
pretty
right.
much what-
That's right. Am I spending $7 on Diet Coke, or am I spending
How
30?
do you go to sleep? Because you have them very late at night. And
Yeah.
that's like more caffeine. There's more caffeine in Diet Coke. Oh, the look on your face right now. There's more. You're really thinking. Like, there's more caffeine in Diet Coke than there is in regular Coke.
You're assuming I'm going to sleep.
Do you sleep? I know. I assume that you sleep at some point.
I do,
assume
I
that
do.
There's got to be some time when you rest.
I do. I'm on meds that like kind of really help me go to sleep because I have historically had deep issues with insomnia.
With sleep, yeah.
Yeah. So like I do have meds, but they're not supposed to like knock me out like that. But I don't know. I'm kind of used to it, and then I just kind of like. I don't know. It doesn't affect me that way. You know, I used to have a very, very serious DC addiction in high school. Like I used to.
DC addiction. You're so ridiculous.
I used to, in high school, like between sophomore and senior year, at about 8 o'clock, I would crack open a fresh 2-liter DC, crack it up. Like I'm talking about the 2-liter, right? That's the size of my torso.
Yeah, that's half your body.
That's the size of my torso.
Yeah.
And I would drink that between 8 and midnight. An entire 2-liter. And that didn't include the DCs I would have during the day.
Stop calling them DCs. Stop trying to like legitimize this and make you sound like hard or something. You're drinking Diet Coke, like you're drinking Diet Coke.
If you know Diet Coke really well, she says that you can call her DC.
Right? Yeah. Right. No, yeah. So you
Her
were
friends
like,
used
so
to
you
call her
were
DC.
like that lady. There was like, I remember there was like some episode of like Dr. Phil or whatever, and it was just a lady who was like, the second she woke up in the morning, she was like Diet Coke all day, no water, just Diet
Diet
Coke.
Coke. I mean, that's why. Like, I recently have started incorporating water because, like, you know, you historically, like, very famously, I have thick pee. Like, my urine is thick. It hurts coming out of my hole because it's like gooey and thick, and it's because I hate water. I mean. Like I'm
On that note, our guest today, everybody. We're a full half an hour in, and our guest today is Eunji Kim, thick peer, DC lover,
famously
recently took a Plan B,
fully a mother of two.
right? Comedian, mother of 2. You've seen her on TV. Her eyeballs almost popped out of her head. Welcome to the podcast, Eunji Kim. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to failure. We're so happy to have you. Honestly, we're halfway through this one, and I'm like, we're gonna have to have her back. This is a part 2, part 3 situation. Clearly,
I fail all the time. I was recently telling my students this. I was like, you gotta fail. Like I tell my son this all the time. You have to fail. Like I think failure. And some of this is I think my background in improv, but like failure is so fundamental to succeeding. Like because you don't. I mean, especially in something like this, like in comedy or anything in life, like it's so cyclical, and there's no way you understand that you're up unless you know unless you've been down.
down.
I mean, you know what I mean? I had no idea what my retinas should feel like until I realized how they should feel.
Right, exactly. No, I mean, you're totally right. You said something about this earlier, and I was trying to come back to it, but I've just been. Everything's just washing
My
over
thick
me.
pee
I'm just
washing over you.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez Louise. No, yeah. Do you want to get? Because okay, yes, you're a comedian. You're a mother of 2. We've amongst other things. were you always doing comedy? Was comedy always a thing?
No.
For you?
No, I started comedy late. I started comedy in my 30s. So,
Really?
Yeah. I started comedy after I got married and I turned 30 and I had a steady source of income. And that was my husband. Like,
So you were married. Wait, you were married.
I was fully married in my 30s when I started doing comedy, improv.
What made you
Steady
do
source
that?
of income, and my ukulele classes at Old Town stopped. And so I
You were teaching ukulele
no,
classes?
I was taking ukulele. I was serious ukulelist.
What? Okay, I'm assuming this was what, 2000?
2011.
Right, this
That's
is peak ukulele. This
Oh
is
baby,
peak ukulele
baby.
time.
I was only wearing Peter Pan collars.
Right,
baby.
exactly. I know exactly who you were. I know
thick bang.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
little guitar,
Oh,
little
baby.
fake guitar. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh my god.
I'm so cute, and
Yeah.
yet I'm so sexy. Yeah. That was definitely. I was a Dewey Deschanel, and so those ukulele classes ended, and I was just bad at it. And look, before that. So I was just like, my friend was like, I think you'd like this, because I was always funny, like at parties or whatever, you know, and I had tried stand up when I was like 19, when I dropped out of college, and like I had tried it and just really failed.
What were you going to college for? Sorry, we're gonna touch.
I was in college to smoke weed. And I was studying that pretty hard, and kind of crazy that I decided to take a break from it. To start
Like, I'm on sabbatical.
I was smoking a lot of it in college, and I was just like, this is really, I was majoring in it, and I was really doing well, but I decided to drop out in order to sell it. And so
Oh really? Oh my god, the multitude of lives.
I mean, truly, like, and that's where like I got into that, like, I got into like a pewter deal with a bunch of Albanians, and like,
You got into a what?
and like a deal to like, whatever. This, I'm sure, I don't know what the statute of limitations is, but like, you know, it was.
Yeah, don't tell on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a pewter deal, and I got fucked out of $1,000 by a bunch of Albanians, and like that's when I was like 20.
Bunch of Albanians.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I mean. Like, I was so naive. Not only did I get screwed once, but then I got screwed a second time because I like gave them the benefit of the doubt. And so I gave them $1,000. Like, I gave them $5, and then I gave them another $5.
Another $5?
That's right. And so,
Damn.
and anyways, so I went through that period, and then like, you know, my 20s were a wash. But truly, like, you're talking about failure. Like, during my 20s, I started a t-shirt company. So like, you guys, for those of you youngs, you don't understand that t-shirts were
sorry,
the
it's not
Bitcoin.
funny.
T-shirt companies were the Bitcoin of the early 2000s.
This is very true.
Absolutely. Like,
What was it called?
Threadless.
Threadless. Yes.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
They had a shop.
They started
They had
here.
a
Those
brick
dudes
and
are from
mortar.
here.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
dudes are from here. So that's what I mean. T-shirt companies were like the fucking startup of that era.
Honestly, that shit might be coming back, considering how we're all everything's like circling back.
Absolutely.
If you print off like 100 Jesus or Jesus is my homeboy shirts, and you could be a million. Like, you would be like, honestly, don't take. That's my idea.
Okay, patent pending.
Yeah.
There's a lot of patent pendings.
Mary's my homegirl. Remember that
Yes.
shit? Yeah. Oh my god.
Mine was called Iron E, and because that was like my rap name, and I was what? I was like, I was never spitting bars or anything like that, but that was like my like funny like rap name if I ever became a rapper. And
Iron E. That's a good
so
one.
yeah,
That's
and
very you.
And I would iron like words onto t-shirts, and they were all like cut artisanally and shit. And then that failed. And then I tried to manage a jug band. Again, this is early 2000s. Jug bands were huge.
I know you're telling the truth, but
Yeah.
this is so ridiculous.
No, but this is also so specific.
Right.
Like, you're understanding the kind of hipster.
Why were you managing a job?
I really,
How did you come across one?
because I really believed in them. I really thought they had something.
Oh my god, you are ridiculous.
It's-
Continue. Just rattle them off.
So I really tried to get them a bunch of gigs trying to manage that jug band. That didn't work out. And then, I worked at my parents' beauty supply for like a while.
Mm-hmm.
I've sold a lot of weave and perm. And
your parents own a beauty supply?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
That
Gotcha.
failed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I come from a family of failures. And
Where was the beauty supply at?
West Side.
Gotcha.
So it's like it was on Harlem, and so like it by like Austin and like that Austin area, and
Gotcha.
so right before it turns into Oak Park, and so yeah, my parents' business. My parents have lost 4 businesses and 2 homes.
Whoa.
So I'm saying like. Yeah, this is I have generational failure. Like it's kind of
Generational failure.
You know what I mean? Like it feels like this is I'm fulfilling a destiny.
No, yeah, this is what you're meant to do.
Yeah,
You're the golden child.
yeah. Can you imagine having like Asian people? Like I know people who have gone to jail, like in my family. Like that's like I mean, baby.
No,
Like, that's it.
Oh
so
my God.
so I worked at that beauty supply for a minute, and then I would like try out. So yeah, I finally got back to school, went back to college. But yeah, I've been a bad hostess. I've been fired. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff. So that's my background before I finally got to comedy, and in my 30s.
after the t-shirt business and the jug
this
band
bad
and everything.
I didn't pan out. And
You're like,
then,
I'm gonna bet on me.
I'm gonna bet on
one more time. Give me one more time.
let's give this a go.
Right.
Because also it was like I was a hobbyist. Like I was like I was just, you know what I mean? I was just like, what about this?
Right.
You know, like I guess I'll try this. Because I was always like, you know, kind of tangentially creative, right? I was like a funny hipstery person on the scene. Like I could have very well wound up like having a successful Etsy store.
No, for sure.
You know, and like working at a thing and like whatever, being a manager. You know what I mean? Like all of these things were like, sometimes when I think about my sliding door situation, like I'm in a polycule. You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
I'm in a polycule, like on a polyamorous relationship that like where I'm the third wheel.
Oh.
And like I'm the person that's least in the rotation. You know,
Right? You're just like, when people have time.
That's cool. Like whatever.
I'll pop in.
And then and like I like knit interesting mittens and like that. Like that's my sliding doors. Like it's like that, or I'm like a very successful like copywriter and creative director. Like it's all possible.
No, totally. No, yeah.
And so I started comedy, and I started in my 30s. That's sort of like that's how I started. And yeah, I was horrible.
And you started with improv. You started improv first.
And I was horrible at it. Horrible. And that's the thing is like
And IO?
and
That's
I and then I did all of it, but I was horrible. Nobody told me to keep going. No teacher or other fellow student was like, oh yeah, let's like, you want to be on an independent team together, or like you're going to be on a house team, or a teacher being like, you really have something. Everyone's like told me no. Actively we're like, maybe you should stop.
Right, like you don't have to keep giving
you don't
us
have to
money.
you don't have to keep doing this. Like and everyone was saying no, but constantly failing. And I kept being like, but what if I kept doing it?
Right. But what if I just don't stop?
What if I don't stop and I keep failing constantly? And that's how it started. And I just did it for 6 years. I eventually started getting better and like actually getting placed on teams and all that stuff, and like trusting my voice. And the reason why I started doing stand-up was because I got pregnant. And I started doing stand-up when I was like 36 weeks pregnant.
And how old were you?
33.
33.
Yeah.
Got you.
So, yeah.
What inspired that?
Because now it's a lot more common inside of improv that like, one, there's like older people, two, people of color, and then three, any women with consistency after they got married and have children. So usually they just like would drop out. And that's kind of when I was coming up. So this is like 2014, 15. So now I think it's very different. It's much more common. But everyone on my teams at that point were like young men that like were freaked out by my body. When you're doing improv, like you're engaging physically, and they just couldn't. I mean, I was accustomed to people not seeing me as a woman, or and so like therefore like with a lot of like 24-year-old I think people, like if you're not trying to fuck or this or that, like they do not. It's like error like they do not compute.
Right. If your life doesn't like match up
Yes.
exactly to theirs, you know what I mean? Like if you're not dealing with this, like they just don't understand
what's happening, or like or they think it's so far removed.
Right.
They think that like you are somehow living in an alternate reality, and it's like, no, bitch, I'm also on the internet.
Right. We both show up to this class. You know what I mean?
We're doing it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's honestly like I would, so I could just see and perceive like how uncomfortable they were. And also it is hard to watch a very, like, audiences really didn't like watching like a heavily pregnant woman be like, whoosh, whoosh. You know what I mean? Like it was.
They're like, what are you doing?
Like, they were worried. They were like, go home.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very much a go home Roger vibe. And like go home, Roger. Like, what are you doing here? It is 10:30 and there's only 4 of us here.
Right.
Like, why?
Right. Like, we can only suspend our disbelief so much.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So she's not supposed to be pregnant in this scene. Okay. Right.
Like,
she's pretending to drink a beer. Seems pretty fucked up to me. She's actively smoking a fake cigarette. She's miming cigarettes.
She can't stop shooting guns.
Right.
Like that was one of my first stand-up jokes where I would like pretend to punch my stomach.
Oh my god.
People hated it.
Oh my god.
People fucking hated it.
Oh
and it's
my
just,
god.
if that gives you any indication of my vibe early on.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It all clocks. And like, so that's when I started. So yeah, that's really been my trajectory. Like, and for a while I was really doing the two very intensely together. Mm-hmm. Like I would say I was doing like 2 shows a week stand up, 2 shows a week improv, and like that was sort of like the clip at which I was doing. I was also still doing a lot of solo sketch. I was doing a lot of stuff at Second City up until I would say like 3 or 4 years ago when I kind of started mostly doing stand up.
Mm-hmm. I.e. pandemic.
Yes.
Or like right before
Right
pandemic.
before. Like I was kind of like booking mostly only stand-up shows and kind of writing that. I mean, I would still do like improv every once in a while, but post-pandemic, no. I still be open to it. Whoosh, whoosh. How fucking condescending. This is what improv is. Whoosh, whoosh.
I know. I've been mulling the idea over of like trying improv again, because I haven't done it in a very long time.
It's fun. It's fun. I mean, like,
it is fun. It's a different part of your brain. I think now too, I won't go to the instructor like 2 weeks into class and be like, so do you think I can be on SNL?
That's not what you said.
I was like 20. I don't even know. I was like early 20s. I was like, it's like this. That's the thing.
Okay, so let me tell you what one of my biggest failures with it was. This is a solo sketch story. So like with improv, you get there's always like a big showcase at the end of the year that's like for basically there's a big showcase that like then Sharna used to, or like some people pick the next people that will be in the showcase for the SNL producers that come. So that like, and that for that you have to do solo sketch. That's all. That's what the audition is for SNL. You just are a character or like whatever, you do impressions, this bullshit, right? So for a while there, that's like kind of a lot of what I was doing. I would say, you know, for like 3, 4, or 5 years, I was doing a lot of that along with improv, and right, because that's the writing muscle in this regard. Right. So I was doing, I was at Second City. I was in the Bob Curry Fellowship, and I got like the opportunity to do a really big showcase for NBC producers, and like it was like the big showcase. And the solo sketch I was doing at the time, I had like a fur cape that I would wear to be like Genghis Khan, and then I had another outfit that where I was like Kim Jong-un, like playing basketball. And so before, I just want you to, I tell you this so you can understand the picture of me holding a basketball and wearing a full cape with like a fake mustache taped to my mouth and being backstage before this huge show, right? And you know, before you go on stage, usually like you kind of like are breathing and like whatever, kind of getting into a place.
To, like, center some way. Yeah.
Yes. And like focus, right? So I'm like doing that. I'm breathing and like I have my hand on the doorknob to go onto the stage. And as I'm breathing, I have my hand on the thing, I think I'm about to bomb, and I open up the door and I go out there, and can you, when I tell you, it was one of the most the bomb was, I could hear people's ice melting.
No, yeah, it's just like silence.
Like you could, I watched this kid in the front row who was like 12, who was clearly there because he loves comedy and he made his parents bring him to this place. I watched that boy decide to become a lawyer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I watched him look at me and be like, I don't want to do this.
He's like, this is not for
like,
me.
I'm like dribbling a basketball on stage, like sweating. Like,
just push through it. Just keep doing. Keep doing it.
Dribbling, and the sound of a basketball echoing.
Yeah.
In a packed theater,
and no one's responding. No one's right.
People it wasn't even they weren't mad. They looked worried.
Hey, you just like turn. You're like, I said I'm unwell. You know what I mean?
They looked worried. They were like, oh no. Like, it was like, that was the energy.
Yeah.
And I like just turned around, and like I had to resist the impulse to turn around and be like, I'm okay though.
No, because that's the absolute worst feeling. And that's okay. It's one thing where like people just don't think you're funny.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And they're just
The
not
pity.
responding that way. Yeah, it's a whole other thing when everyone's just like looking at you like this so sadly.
Yes.
That happened to me. It was during pandemic. We were doing an outdoor show, and there a lot of shit had been going on. Like, that whole summer, everything was crazy.
Yes.
But I had started. Speaking of, jokes about your body and pregnancy, I was trying to start doing some bit about how I thought I was pregnant, and then it would go into like me doing an act out of my ovaries, because like the whole thing was about how like I thought I was pregnant, but it was just my ovaries fucking with me because they knew I shouldn't be having sex with the guy that I was having sex with, so they were like threatening pregnancy, but like
They were protesting.
Exactly. So like, but okay. Also, just the look on your face as I was trying to explain this, like clearly this is why I stopped doing it. But but yeah, you're like, totally, that makes sense. But like all I got out was, I thought I was pregnant. And like, that's all I can get out. And then all of a sudden I just like freeze. And then I try to start saying something else. I don't know, but like everything's just collapsing inside of me. And I've only been like on stage for like maybe 2 minutes. And I'm like, instead of just like, I was like, I can't just run away. Like, I can't just run. I'm also in the middle of a park.
Sure.
Like, everyone's on this hill watching me. I can't just run away from this. So then I like try to pivot into some other joke about like racism. And it's like and then it ends with me doing a dance. Like, I just started dancing. I just started like literally
on a hill.
Yeah.
You're
just like dancing
on
a hill at the bottom of a hill. You know what I mean? Because literally that's where I was. I was bottom of the barrel, just trying to scrape something out of it. And yeah, I like get off, and then it's like I can't hide anywhere because there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
Right? There's nowhere. There's nothing.
And it's also during the day, probably. It's
Right,
like
full
late after.
sun.
Yeah,
It's full sun, and I gotta clean this shit up because it's my show. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was just like I was like, I want to die. And then all I got was just like a bunch of messages from people being like, hey, like reaching out and like trying to make me feel better. And I was like, please don't. Like, please don't. Like, please, like, just pretend like this didn't happen and that I don't exist.
The
like,
reach outs, like it's really the pity of it.
Right.
Like, I remember, because the bomb that I'm describing, like, it fucked me up. Like, it fucked me up for weeks. Like,
that's that's
weeks.
much higher stakes. I was at a fucking pandemic show just being like,
No, I mean, for sure. I would say if there are ever stakes, I am gonna fuck it up. that is sort of like kind of my vibe. Like, you know,
Hey, me too.
yeah,
honestly.
like that is sort of my thing. I was like, you know what? I love to squander opportunities. That is my vibe. Like, is there an opportunity I can take advantage of and that would lift me up out of this situation? Squander. Like,
Right.
I'm like gonna show up late, be unprepared, and like really, while like. Did I ever tell you about the time that I had a general meeting with ABC Casting, and I thought it was like a general casting? Like, I thought it was like ABC, like Acme, or like 123 Plumbing. Like, they tried to be the first in a phone book. And then it turned out it was the network.
That wanted to sit down with you.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we think we see something here.
And I was like,
So what'd you-
whatever. And because I just thought it was like a regular casting agent. I was like, took it seriously, but I didn't compute that it was the network.
Right. That they were like potentially trying to place you.
Yes,
and
in a
see,
place.
like somewhere.
And the self tape
Or maybe just give you a contract and fit you in every once in a while.
Yes, and the self tape I submitted was so bad, and then I had the meeting with them, and I was like, they liked me, and it was so. They were like, we don't understand like the level of self tape that you submitted, and like the person we met did not match. And they were like, where is the
Right,
person? Like,
right.
who is this person?
Right.
And so they asked me to submit again because they're like, the self tape was so bad.
Right. We'll
'Cause
give
I
you another shot.
squander, baby.
Oh my god.
Squander, baby.
Oh my god.
I like that's why that is something that I actively in therapy about because of how much I squander. Like
no, for sure.
it's like any sort of stakes really freaks me out.
Okay, I wasn't gonna. Okay, this is like the one time I wasn't gonna talk about astrology, but we are both Virgos, and I feel like that is kind of the Virgo way.
Yes.
That it's like everyone thinks it's like got it all together.
Yeah.
You can do it. She can do it. Totally capable. And then it's just like that. The neuroses
Yes.
of being. It's just
Yes.
like how about I just not? How about I just stay where I'm at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
What if
it's
I
right there.
What if I just knock all this over and then start again?
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. What happened was that Beyonce actually sucked all that energy up and just kept it for herself. That's everyone's like Illuminati or like she's a witch.
Yes.
Yeah. She took all the Virgo energy for herself. Love her to death. But we're all fucked.
And I actually get it. I mean,
Right.
I will say that something's been helping with my impulse towards failure, which like because I get accustomed to it. I like we talking about like we started off talking about what you get accustomed to. I get accustomed to feeling bad. Wait. So I've been talking about this. I just talked about this on my podcast, Two Kims One Pod.
Yes.
But I
Bleep that out. Christine, cut that.
Two Kids One Pod. You can't cut this out. Two Kids One Pod. But I think this is like so fundamental to my like personality and ethos as a like how I conduct myself in my POV is my first memory is like I have like fuzzy memories of like Korea kind of stuff, you know, and like the place we lived when we first came. But like the first moment when like I came online, like where I was like a person was when I peed myself. Like I never forget, like I was preschool looking up at Miss Jackson, not being able to speak English and like asking her to, I like in Korean trying to ask her where the bathroom is and urinating on myself. And so this is the sensation, Kenya.
don't
This
feel
is the,
pity.
yeah, this is like a sensation though. It is extreme shame and extreme relief. Because I was peeing. But at the same time, like the heat of the urine and the heat on my face are something that like right now when I close my eyes, I can still feel.
No, yeah.
Like that to
Yeah.
me is like I think that's that's like the source of my squandering. Like I like to feel shame, but it feels like relief. Like I don't have that pressure on me anymore. I fucked it up, so I'm like ashamed, but I'm also like relieved.
No, I get that. I don't know if it's a shame thing for me. I think it's just like I think I've always considered myself to just be sort of like on the out, like everyone else has got some sort of like guide or whatever. Like
Yes.
I'm just sort of like on the outskirts and like, okay, well, I'm always just going to be kind of like over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more of a like, it's a separate thing. It's like, no, I'm just over.
So, but that doesn't necessarily
supposed to be
imply
included.
but that doesn't necessarily imply failure. But so you think,
Hey, I'm not in therapy.
yeah, but I mean, like, because I feel the same way. Like, I do not definitely see myself as a pack of anything or a part of a cohort or a group of people. I mean, like I said, I was 30 when I started comedy. There was like nobody. I didn't really fuck with anybody. I had like friends and like that I'm still friends with for sure. But like I said, I was bad, so no one was trying to like put me on a team. I wasn't like, you know, like it was
right. Yeah,
I was just always trying to get better on my own. And I started a group. I did this, but I always like did that on my own. And I even now inside of comedy, I don't think I would like say that I am a part of a cohort or a group. So like I always see myself as separate too, but that is not the source of why I think I'm a failure. Like that in and of itself intrinsically is not tied to, because in high school I was like that too. Like I was kind of friends with all, but not like did not have a core.
No, yeah, you
group.
just sort of like popped around.
I had like 3 or 4 friends, but we even were not. I mean, actually, once my friend was like, "You guys are the brain trust," because we sat by her. Like, just yeah. I mean, again, like my friends from high school, like these are the colleges they went to. Okay, and this is my core group of friends from high school. They went to Northwestern, MIT, Harvard.
Right. Yeah. No, same.
That's it.
NYU, Stanford.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody went to really good schools. And NYU, Stanford, Princeton. I failed out of DePaul.
Yeah.
I failed out of college 3 different times.
I was majoring in pots.
Right.
Weed.
You were majoring weed. Yes.
And so like
I was majoring in alcohol.
Yeah. So I mean, like
I was majoring in just partying and just being irresponsible.
Being fucking awesome. And but like so for me, being not part of a group is not intrinsically tied to failure. I think it's more like, you know, for you, it's you being you think being a part of a group implies more like success. Is that it?
No, I think I mean, I guess in a way, I think it also just feels like to me like, okay, well, these people, oh my god, this is gonna get way too heavy and dark, but in some way, shape, or form, these people deserve this thing, or like this is meant for them and it's not meant for me. I'm meant to just sort of like be stop looking at me like that.
Like you deserve to eat shit and they deserve caviar. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Oh yeah. I get that.
Like my life's just like meant to be like hard or whatever.
Yeah. If I'm lucky, I'll get to have some. Yeah. If I'm lucky, I get to turn that shit into a sandwich.
Yeah.
Like I'll get to have bread on the outside.
Yeah. I've had little moments of like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is nice, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. And that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. Let's go back. Yeah.
Don't let me get used to any sort of steak or caviar or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is so because I am actively like, I mean. Also, I am 41 and I am a mother of 2. And I will say something that really kicked this shit into overdrive for me is having a daughter. And one of my friends always telling me, Jack Velker, shout out, is that you can't give your child anything that you do not have. So like a sense of self-worth, you know, like confidence, all that shit. If I don't have it, I can't give it to them. So that's really kicked it into overdrive, especially with my daughter, because I can see in my son, the culture and society gives him
builds
it up and implicitly, and also because my parents are like immigrant and Asian, like they value him as a boy a lot. You know, he is a prince.
He's
like
the next golden
child. He literally is fed grapes. I wish I was kidding. Like he is literally fed grapes. He does not. The skin of an apple does not touch his mouth. So like I know
that sounds amazing. It sounds
incredible.
So nice.
So I'm not trying to. I didn't feel it as urgently with him, but having given birth to a daughter, I feel it more urgently. And so. With the self-worth shit, I don't know if so. What I found is I can't think myself into feeling more self-worth or feeling more self-confident. What I have been able to do is picture myself and meditate myself in situations succeeding and visualize myself what success for me would look like in that situation. And then when I accomplish it, it has resulted in small incremental change and feeling better about myself, proving myself wrong, which I have done very recently, I would say on a number of occasions, and where there were even stakes, and I've like shown up for myself.
What?
Bitch, I'm actually on the wrong podcast. I should be on Success.
Winning.
Because like but it's like it's been wild because like it's not like I was like be successful, like believe in yourself, and then all of a sudden like I was able to do it. For me, it had to be evidence based.
No,
I
totally.
needed to show my work, and I needed to have data backing up these assertions. I needed proof, and I could do it with like I started. I'll send it to you. It's like this like sound.
Wait, is it a frequency?
Yes.
I listen to frequencies.
Yes.
I listened to frequencies for a good part of the end of last year, and then everything blew the fuck up. So I don't know about that, but no, I mean, yeah, I think it's that. I think it's just seeing it. I think I come from a family that's so like, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like you constantly need to be prepared.
Oh yeah, I mean, my parents have McDonald's napkins from the 1990s.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
I was thinking about doing a bit about this on stage. I mean, truly. I mean, like my parents moved into their public housing with like boxes of McDonald's napkins and like silverware. It's fucked up. I mean, I was trying to think about a bit like this about how I don't know if you guys have ever seen brown napkins yellow with age.
do they really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. But now I do. Now we all do. Failures if you know you're down bad if your McDonald's napkins have gone bad. You know it's no good. If there's a yellow tint to your McDonald's napkins, get outside. Go for a walk.
It looks like it almost turns like greenish yellow. Like it's crazy. Yeah,
That's
'cause
crazy.
they're brown.
I'm gonna Google it. Google
It's,
it
like,
later.
fucked up.
Is this because they're biodegradable?
I don't know. I don't know if they got exposed to like too much light or like whatever, but they're in the back. So it might have been moisture, but like for sure. Like it was
No,
wild.
yeah.
I was like, why do we need this?
No, yeah. I mean, you are right. I mean, yeah. The shame and the release sort of situation. I mean, it's also like it's a feeling you're comfortable with, right? It's a thing that you know. It's
And you
it's a
deserve.
thing that right.
Yes.
It's a thing that I deserve. It's a thing that I understand. I don't understand necessarily what the next steps of like I wouldn't say success, but like if this does go well and like what is on the other side of this, it's like it's easier to be like, okay, well my life is kind of like this right now, so why don't I just keep it?
Yeah, let's
But
not
not
continue
really,
to
though.
wallow in the shit. Like,
Exactly. I know. Yeah. No, that's the other thing is, yeah, it's like sitting in shit. That I hate that. I like that's been a thing. Like, I mean, that's just like a whatever process. Oh my God, this is like we got like 5 more minutes left, and I'm just like, how are we gonna wrap it up?
I mean, the shit is the shit because I will say this. I am still living out of the suitcase that I got back from on tour like 6-7 weeks ago. Like and I like unpacked and then put stuff in for the Fly Honey show, and I'm still living out of that. Like it's like when you talk about shit, I'm in literal shit, right? But on the other side of that, there will always be more shit. So like once I realized that like I will never be without shit.
no, yeah, the shit's always.
I mean, I've got thick pee, I've got heavy shit. It's just like it will always be. So now I don't have to be worried about like if I overcome this, that there won't be more shit on the other side.
right. There's always gonna be.
Rest assured, baby.
Right.
It's gonna be
Hopefully
new
you
thick
have,
shit.
What's it called? Stilts.
No, I'm swimming in it, baby. I'm holding my nose. I'm like, I'm sinking in. It's just
True. Yeah. Yeah. Mining for
Yeah.
bits you can take with you on stage.
it's just no. It's like that's the failure of it. It's like to revel in it. Because like I think that's the difference. It's like it's opposed to feeling shame and being like, I'm never gonna experience again. It's just like anticipating, baby, it'll happen again. It'll happen.
Right.
Always. Like that has actually been very freeing as I age. Like that. Yeah. This is sort of I'm predisposed to fucking up. I'm predisposed to kind of being.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
human error. It's pretty
Absolutely.
much like it's all
Absolutely. Like people who never taken a plan B or like had an abortion, I'm like, what? You never made a mistake? Have some
That's a
fun.
robot. That's a full on
Have
robot.
some fun, girl.
Right.
Like let it go. You know, like I don't know. I do understand like if you do you know that if you let a dude jizz in you that you have like a psychic connection like biologically with him.
What?
Yeah.
What? Okay, wait.
Ladies, pull out. You pull out. You go, whoop.
Well, I mean, there is something to be said. I mean, there's definitely something to be said for like the energies that you take in physically. I feel like that's why. I mean, we were talking earlier before I think we even started recording. We were talking about like people aren't having as much sex nowadays.
No.
But I feel like for myself, a big part of that is like I've had so many fucked up energies in my body and been like, this is great, and it's like it's really not, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, this is like mine's, and not even talking about pH balance, just
Sure.
like
Yeah, because mine is fucked up. Yeah. I'm yeasty, baby.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like I'm trying to be being more mindful of that. It's like you're quick to cut out a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I'm saying, fuck up. Let in the wrong people.
Right.
I'm pro mistakes, baby.
Me too. Yeah, clearly. Here we are.
I like, young people, fuck up. Fuck and fuck up. You know what I mean? Like,
no, yes.
Yeah, like, you don't know who you don't want to fuck until you fuck that person. You know, like, I feel like there's so much, like, fear of failure right now. And rightfully so, that like, you can be really horrible consequences. I'm not like trying to minimize that, but I think just a little bit of danger is fine.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Well, I think
We've
we also just need to
seatbelted our
give people
lives.
space.
Yeah.
Well, because that's like we just need to give people space to kind of just like. The problem is our phones. Everyone feels like they're being recorded or watched, and most of the time you are, because everyone's too busy like trying to catch somebody in some like. I was walking my dog today, and there was a lady literally like walking down the middle of the street, singing to herself, recording herself singing, and it took everything inside me not to just be like, boom, you know what I mean?
Oh, you were going to record her.
Right, yeah, not to record her and be like, hey, you know what I mean? This is happening over here. Like, I feel like everyone feels like they're being, as much as we want to tell everybody like, oh, no one gives a fuck about you, like live your life, just go do your thing.
Yeah.
The internet has proven otherwise, and that there's a million videos of like, hey, you're at the gym and your butt looks weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't understand that fucking impulse to like record strangers. Like, it's really
I have
weird.
It sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but are you uploading that? Like,
not in a like an intrusive way. It depends on what it is. Like, there was a guy on the bus the other day with a crazy fucking like, just like graphic like anime shirt on, and it's just like this lady was just like splayed out on the back of his shirt, and I was like,
you could see a full pussy.
Pretty darn close. Yeah, and he just like had it on like it was regular, so like I took a picture of him.
Yeah,
like, but it's like from the back.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
You know what I mean? But
Wait,
it's also like
this image was on the back.
Yes, it was on the back. That's why I was like, okay.
So what was on the front?
Nothing. It was like there was like a little patch. I don't know. It didn't. It
would have been crazy if the front was her butt. You know what I mean? Like, like it was like.
Are you getting T-shirt ideas?
Threadless.com.
Right? Yeah, Threadless. Wait, what was it? Irony.
Yeah,
Irony. Coming back, guys. You heard it here first. Yeah. Okay. Well, on that note, this has been a winding and weaving, and we're touching on a lot of things. Honestly, this is very much an example of, I feel like, a lot of our conversations. Just get us in a room together. Just wow. But to wrap it up, what I like to do to end these episodes is basically do like a mantra of a week, which, I mean, you've given the people a lot of nuggets of wisdom today. But basically just like a mantra of the week, just like words that you potentially live by. So like when you are down, or, you know what I mean? Words that kind of push you, make you want to keep going. Something, whether it's a song, it's something you listen to, a quote.
You know, this is something I used to say to myself. I don't know if it's really great, but I used to be like, how much worse can it get? So maybe if you say that.
No, that's perfect. There you go. That, how much worse can it get, guys? How much worse can it get?
How much
failures?
worse can it get? So
Yeah, I want to start calling you losers. That's what I was going to start calling. That's my fan base. That's the people who listen to this. How much worse can it get, losers? No, that's amazing. Actually, I know that's that works for me. That's my thought process as well. Well, on that note. On that note, this has been an episode of Failure with me, Kenya Lan. Eunji, where can we find you? What do you have coming up? I know you had some tour. Do you have some more tour dates coming up? What's going on?
Yeah, I have a podcast called Two Kims One Pod.
Yes.
Two Kims One Pod.
Christine, cut that shit out for real.
It's gonna be me looking at the camera going, I will not be silenced. And I'm actually there will be tour dates announced. My podcast, Two Kids in One Pod, will be doing like a bi-coastal monthly show. So we're going to be doing a show in Chicago, and then a show in LA, and then a show in Chicago. Hopefully starting in November. So
sort of like,
follow me on Instagram at the best Eunji, and find out. This is sort of my vibe. This is what the podcast is like on the other podcast too.
Two Kids One Pod is a very it's a funny pod.
It's a funny pod.
Y'all get into it. I only have you for 1 hour. I couldn't imagine.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. But no, on that note, this has been Failure. Like, review, subscribe, just listen. And also, if you see the posts, if you see the reels, like the reels, comment, share them. We put so much work into them.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Spread the word. Just help spread the word. If you like this, losers, if you like this, help spread the word. But yeah, but
all right, losers.
No, but
actually,
this has been. No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I don't understand people that like see their friends' work online and don't like it.
I don't know.
People
say nice things in person, which is nice. Yeah. Also, we have, this is how you end it. But people say nice things in person is whatever. This could go into a whole other thing.
All right, sorry.
No, it's
like and subscribe.
Yes, listen to Failure. Bye, everybody. Bye.
It could be worse.